Hi, you're listening to Book Chat with author Vivian E. Moore.
Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode. We really appreciate you joining us. This podcast really shows us how we can all learn, live, and thrive off of each other. By sharing our knowledge through our conversations, we will impart some knowledge whilst learning ourselves how to progress even further. Here is your host.
Hello and welcome to Book Chat. I am your host, Author Vivian E. Moore. I hope everyone had a great week and I hope you are having an even better weekend. I hope you also celebrated Memorial Day, which was on Monday. It seems like it was so long ago. I mean, this was just a short work week, but my goodness. But I hope that you celebrated with your family. Not only was it a memorial for, fallen soldiers, but also it is the kickoff of summer. So we are now in full gear of summer. All right. So I'm not going to keep you for too long today. We're going to get straight to today's show. And on that note, the title is Let's Get It Started. And the topic is powering through procrastination. Okay. The Black Eyed Peas, they recorded this song a few years ago and it was a big hit. And it was meant to motivate you. However, getting started on anything is often easier said than done. Why? Well, because we're human and we need motivation. Along with these human traits is a debilitating straggler called procrastination. Yes. Please don't feel like the lone stranger. We all suffer from it, but there are ways to overcome wanting to get started, but lacking the get up and go. It's something that affects us all. We may be the most motivated people in the land, but we're human and we all have days where we just don't feel like doing nothing. It's like we just can't get it in gear. No matter how hard we try, it just won't get going. All right. So, and I want to talk to writers today because writers not only face motivational issues, but writing issues too. Okay, let's just put it out there. Writer's block is the worst. All right. Now, it's something that I don't experience often, but when I do, it's horrible. So let me tell you what I do to keep myself motivated and keep writer's block at bay. Whenever I come up with an idea for a story or for a topic for doing this show, I write it down, okay? Because I hate to think of something and then procrastinate about writing it down. And then when I think about it again, it's too late because it's gone, okay? So get in the habit of jotting things down, taking notes, okay? And that will keep you from procrastinating about things later on. If you just go ahead and jot it down. When it comes to mind, jot it down. That way you'll have it. And when you look back at it, it's like, oh, I'm so glad I wrote that down because I wouldn't have remembered it otherwise. All right. So, but on days when I can't think of anything and I have nothing and nothing flows, my mind is a blank canvas. And let me tell you, that is never good. All right. I know we want to start with a blank canvas on most things, but we don't want a blank canvas that stays blank because that's not good. That means you're not going to get anything accomplished. So we don't want that. We want to start out with a clean slate, but we want to add something. Okay. It just a little bit, just add something to that canvas to get us going. Okay. Now I know that, just like me, you suffer from lack of motivation. and it's largely due to procrastination. All right, but what I can do today will hopefully help you manage procrastination. Okay, and believe it or not, and I know a lot of people, they want to lump procrastination in with being lazy, but just let me tell you that procrastination, it isn't a sign of laziness. Okay, one does not have anything to do with the other. All right. Procrastination is a habit that places the brain and the body in a state of postponement. Okay, it's like, I'm gonna get it done. All right, and you tell yourself that, and then a day passes, 2 day passes, a week passes, and then before you know it, you haven't done anything. So basically, that's what procrastination is. It's a postponement. Okay, when you keep putting things off and putting things off, you have good intentions, but that power, that habit of putting off tomorrow what you can do today, it overtakes us all, and so it gets pushed to the back burner. Don't do that. All right. And I know that it is a driving force behind the doing nothing syndrome. That's what I call it. But and that keeps us from doing what we should do. All right. And that is never good. If you start something, finish it. Even if you haven't started it physically, if you've written it down on a to-do list, try to get to that to-do list. Okay, maybe you can't get to the first thing on the to-do list. And that's a lot of things that creates procrastination. It's like, well, that's too much. I don't want to do that. I'll wait and do that. So instead of putting everything on the list off, just put the first thing on hold and go to the next. Try simple things. If you have simple things on your list, do the simple things first. Leave the harder things for last. Okay. That's the type of person I am. It's like I don't write things down list wise. I have a mental list. And so I try to accomplish the things, not all the time in order, but just the things that I know I can get done in a day. Those are the things that I try to tackle. So hopefully that will help you to manage not being a procrastinator. Okay. So another way to alleviate procrastination is to use mind over matter. If you can do it, it can and will be done. All right. Let the force be with you, because mind over matter is a very powerful tool too. All right. And, I always jokingly say, when I say mind over matter, if I don't mind, it don't matter. But that's not true. That's just a joke. OK, everything matters. All right. And mind over matter is a very it's a very powerful tool. OK, when you apply it to your daily task. All right. And another way is to don't bite off more than what you can chew. My mom used to say that all the time. Don't bite off more than what you can chew now. All right. So in other words, it means to not overwhelm yourself with impossible tasks. Okay. Now, I understand that you're on a mission, but we all have limits. And once you recognize what your limits are, let me tell you, you will be better off for it. Okay. Now, this message is for everyone, but especially writers who feel defeated if they don't write a chapter per day. Now, I can just tell you that I'm not one of those people, okay? I do what I can do. If it ain't flowing, I don't force it, all right? So there may not be a chapter, but if I can get, maybe a couple of paragraphs, I'm doing good, okay? And so I let that simmer and stew to the next time. All right. So that's what you need to learn how to do. Don't force something. OK, if it's not working, don't force it. All right. Because you'll just end up with garbage and then you'll have to start all over anyway. All right. So that's just a waste of your time. All right. So permit yourself to accomplish less. All right. But still get the job done in your time by not forcing the issue. Haste makes waste, and it is disastrous to your goals. All right. Because when you look back over what you've done and you've not really thought it through, and when you look back over it, it's like, oh man, that was a mess. Why did I do that? Because you were forcing it. You were trying to do something that beyond your limits. Okay, don't ever do that. It's like people who work out and they have a regime that they follow daily. And some days you may not feel like doing everything that's on that list. So if you don't feel like doing everything that's on that list, it's okay. All right, you can skip it and go on to the next thing because there's always tomorrow. You can do it tomorrow. And if you don't do it tomorrow, do it by Friday. All right, you don't have to procrastinate about not doing everything. You don't have to procrastinate at all, okay? But what you can do is do what is within your limit. Do what you can do, and that's what you can't do. Don't worry about it, all right? Now, what we can do daily, all right? This is something that everyone can do, no matter what your age, if you're old enough to understand that you have stuff to do, okay? I'm not talking about babies, all right? Obviously. But you can use motivational tools to kickstart your mind and body, whatever that may be. Some people read motivational messages on a daily basis. They go out there on the internet and they find things to motivate them. They find positive words that will motivate them to do what they need to do. Okay, so if you're one of those people who need to be motivated by reading something, by all means do that. It is nothing wrong with that. My motivation comes from reading scripture, okay, because I am one of those people who need to be motivated, and maybe not motivated to do my job, but just motivated to do everything that I know I need to get done in a day that I can't do under my own power. I need a higher power to help me through. All right, so that's how I get motivated to do everything that I need to do, where I draw my strength from. And I know these are just simple directives that anybody can use on a daily basis, but please use them. Okay. Don't feel unaccomplished if you don't meet a goal. It's okay. It's all right. You know, meeting goals is something that you want to do, but if you can't do it on the first try, and maybe not even the second or third try, you can get it done. If you know, it's just getting it done in little smaller bits, okay, in just little smaller pieces. Okay, you're looking at the overall picture, but just do it in pieces. Okay, it's like a puzzle. You know, you don't suddenly dump out every piece of the puzzle and then, you know, miraculously you can just look at it and put everything in its place at one time. You know, that's not realistic. So that's the same way with goals and procrastination. You can't do everything at one time. You have to do it a step at a time. And that's how you get through procrastination. Okay, you take baby steps. I'm just going to do this today, you know, because I don't want to waste the whole day by procrastinating. I'm just going to do this today. And then tomorrow I'll do a little bit more. Okay, if that gets you through, go for it. All right. So now let's summarize. Knowledge is powerful, okay? And use motivational tools to keep you engaged. Don't overcommit. And it's okay if you don't meet a daily goal, all right? The more you understand how procrastination works and its effects on the brain and the body, this will give you the upper hand and knowledge to power through it and overcome it. All right, folks, so that is our show for today. I thank you for joining in, listening. I appreciate it so very much. And what I would appreciate so very much more are your comments and your likes and your shares. Okay, if you could do that for me, that would be so greatly appreciated. All right, because that motivates me too to keep doing what I'm doing. All right, I greatly appreciate it. And tell those who you care about the most how you feel about them. Don't ever procrastinate about that, because tomorrow is not promised. Today may be the only chance you get to say it. So on that note, I love you. I hope you love me back. Until the next time you hear my voice, God bless you and goodbye.
Loved what you've heard on this week's episode? Well, the answer is simple. It would mean the world to us if you could head over to iTunes and leave us a 5-star review and feedback. Spreading the word really is the best way to grow our podcast and achieve even greater things. Thank you.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for joining us